5, 16, 19, 21, 30, 3 and 10. Check results. You remember?
Yes, I look mental. My hair is mental. It's very dry as well. It's arid up there. You know, hostile environment. Only few critters could live in a place so dry. But I just thought I don't care. It's messy, but at the same time, I don't want to wear a hat indoors anymore. It's just sort of drying my head out, man. Drawing me head out to the highest shit. I don't know. I always do this face, but I notice I always do it when I'm here. Um, yeah, 77. Like that number 77. Because I started this already and I did about 4 minutes and I realized I couldn't remember what the topics were. I was like, do I sit here struggling chatting shit, or do I restart this and then actually remember and then chat shit? But at least about things I remember this time. I thought I would have to restart it. So I've already went on about how my head's dry and about how I like the number 77 and just irrelevant bullshit like that. So we can just skip over that. I'm done in about half the time. First thing first. I don't want to. I stopped myself before. Oh, actually, I got a couple things to talk about today. It's almost a year anniversary of Chris Rock getting the shit slapped out of him, or at least it appeared that way. He got slapped. I don't know if the shit was slapped out of him. He got slapped pretty hard, but he also firmed it pretty hard, and I couldn't tell if that's because the slap wasn't that strong. It's only so strong a slap can be. Really, it's more of like a stun attack. It will stun you. It's more of like a wake up call, less of a knockout thing. I know he got slapped in competitions, but look, Will Smith ain't a professional as far as I'm aware. So he got slapped. I don't know if he firmed it that well because it was not that strong of a slap, but I more lean towards B, which is just Chris Rock takes me as the kind of guy who's probably been slapped so many times. Probably not slapped, actually. Takes me as the kind of guy who's been punched in the face so many times. Because, he's a comedian, wisecracky, funny guy, but also not the strongest guy, pretty small. And I've seen Everybody Hates Chris, and I just imagine, who plays him again? Something Jackson. No, something Williams? Tyrell Jackson. Tyler Williams. I think it might be Tyler Williams. Can't remember. There's like 3 of those brothers and they're all like were actors. I think some of them still are actors, and they all got very similar names, so it's hard to remember. But yeah, now it's an Abbott's Elementary. I don't know why I'm giving you a lowdown of people's IMDb, but yeah. So it's almost a year. I'm actually looking forward to it. Look, I like Oscars. Say what you want. Might think it's a dumb competition. Isn't everything? Everything is like, I hate that argument. It's like, who really cares? It's just, I know I'm kind of tangent here, but let me get there. Who really cares, man? It's just like some people. Why do you need people to tell you your film's good? If it's good, it's good. You don't need some old farts to be like, it's good for you to care. And they just put snooty films up there anyway, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, you can simplify anything to that. Yeah, football, it's just a kick around sphere. Woo woo when it goes in there. Who cares? But then people will say that, but then they'll get really gassed about like RuPaul's Drag Race. Or like about I don't know. RuPaul's Drag Race is the first thing that came to my head because it feels like the opposite of football. But it's like, that's just what you like. So you put emphasis, you enjoy that. When it's like the All Stars competition and it has all the winners on it in this week and all the winners, and it gets to the final UK and you're like gassed for it. It's the same thing with football, You love it. You put emphasis on it. A lot of people would describe the Oscars as their version of the World Cup. It's like, well, I guess not. It comes on every 1 year. World Cup's every 4 years. So actually, the World Cup's a little bit more. But you know what I mean. The Oscars comes around like Oscar Expert. If you don't know them, they're on YouTube. Watch one. Here's a recommendation. Watch one of the Oscar Experts. Just type in the Oscar Expert and watch one of his Oscar reactions. He does like a live reaction to the Oscars and other film awards ceremonies, right? Watch like last year's Oscar ceremony reaction or something like that. And you'll get what I'm saying. Like genuine cheers, screaming, like people get into it. Not as much because like, yeah, the whole point, like they only nominate snooty films, is like that. I feel like that's an opinion, right, that I used to have, but it's kind of true. Like certain films will do well, like films about Hollywood, about cinema, and like there is such thing as Oscar baity films. But like when you're not like into films that much, or you just don't watch them that much, I used to think that like, because I remember about probably 3-4 years ago, the only movies I realized I was deep in, that I saw each year. I was like, what films did I see this year? And because I wanted to rank the films I'd seen that year, and I was like, oh wow, I've only seen 5 films this year, and 4 of them were Marvel movies. And I just thought, I regard myself as someone who like likes watching movies. Like, I enjoy the experience of sitting there and watching a good movie. So like, why do I only watch Oscar Marvel movies? And at the time, Marvel movies I rated a lot. I liked them. I still like the idea of a Marvel movie. I just think that they've taken a big sort of dive recently. But I was like, I like watching movies, but I only watch Oscar movies. So let me try and broaden my horizons and watch more things, make a conscious effort to. And then you find more things you like and you get into it more and you're like, yeah. And now I look at films that are nominated and like, realistically, they're not like just bad, boring films made to appease to like, just like nobody. It's like, they're not bad. Like, they are good at what they're doing. It's just that most people don't like films that way. Most people want a comedy or they want a blockbuster. And yeah, I get the whole. I used to get the whole argument before, like, why is like this Infinity War not nominated? But like everyone loved it and it got this much money. But how could I relate it to like sports or like something else? It's kind of just like, just because it's the most viewed or whatever, like the people's choice, it doesn't mean it was like the best still, like telling an original story or telling it in a unique way and like all the aspects of it. It was just like funny and enjoyable, and it was like, but then you forgot about it. So like, I feel like that statement is just so harsh. Like, you might as well just say you don't like films so much. Like, it's like the whole thing about art. It's like, oh, art's stupid because you can just put a banana on a wall with duct tape. Boom, art, stupid. I could have done that. And it's like, I'm not someone who's into like going to galleries and stuff, but even I can defend it. Like, I don't know. I just feel like whenever you oversimplify something, you like art or football or films or whatever, it's probably because you don't like that thing. So then you just look at it and think it's stupid. Why do people like that? Why do you like what you? This is such a huge departure from what I'm actually meant to be talking about. Will Smith clapped the face cheeks of Chris Rock. Rocked his world, and it was a whole thing. It was one of the most cringiest things I viewed. Will Smith's whole life just is a cringe fest in recent years, and I don't like watching it. People say, oh, it's a car crash. I guess kind of. No, I can. It's a car. Realistically though, when I see a car crash, people say that like it's a car crash. You just, you can't look away. No, I can. I'm physically completely turned the other direction. I want to stop this. It's almost like I've been sat down in a chair with like those needle things put on your eyes to keep your eyelids open, just like forced to watch car crash videos on repeat. I like forcing this like relationship down my throat. I don't want to know all of this stuff which they tell me, and it's just every time I hear it, I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake. This is a great Mark Goldbridge clip. I think it's from when, don't know, Mark Goldbridge, he reacts to United games and he talks on football and he's like does a lot of different stuff in that space. And there's this great clip of Mark Goldbridge when I think they go 4-0 down to Liverpool or something, and it's just like, oh fuck, oh god no, my eyes are bleached. And it is perfect. It's just every single time I see it, I was scrolling, there was a point, it was like more news would come out. Will Smith says, he enjoyed watching his wife get banged in the arm, whatever he was, and it'd just be like, oh fuck, why? No one said, no one told you, just no one's asked. Who's got a gun to your head type thing. And how long? Okay, I've got a real issue with this. I was 9 minutes in and I still haven't gotten to the main point. Basically, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock last year, and almost a year later, Chris Rock goes and does stand-up comedy, and from so long of basically saying nothing on it, he's done like a whole what are they called, a whole like 5 minutes, I can't remember what the word is, but a whole like 5 minutes in a comedy show. I think he's touring at the moment, on Chris Rock, on what's his name, Will Smith. And just kind of basically, it was I didn't have a problem with it. Like, I didn't think, oh, that's just, you're so salty, move past it, brother. I was just kind of like, my only issue with it was that it felt like a roast of Will Smith, which is fine, but like, you're a comedian, you're doing stand-up comedy. I would have liked it to have been a bit more funny from what I saw. It was more just like him being, there's a couple things that felt like actual jokes in there, but a lot of it was just like, fuck this Will Smith guy, you know, his wife was sleeping with a fitter, by the way. And it was just like, they weren't jokes. It was more like, it was more, I guess what you could say is with a lot of Will Smith's life at the moment, it is the joke. So you kind of just have to state things that have happened, and it's like, there's the joke. Say it in an exaggerated voice, and there's your joke for you, mate. So yeah, but that wasn't really an issue. I just thought it could have been, if it was more funny, I would have been better. But yeah, man. Look, the funniest bit was Will Smith apparently really being like hurt or upset by what like Chris said, and it's just like, man, you slapped the guy in the face. You know, it's kind of like in a soap or a drama when like an Australian drama, when two friends are arguing and they'll be like, "Oh my god, Becky, you bitch, mate. What are you doing? You just spilled all the mixture on the floor." And they'll be like, "Susie, what do you mean? Shut up, you're actually so annoying." And then Becky's like, "I'm annoying. Shut up, what about you? You're annoying." And then she'll be like, "I'm not annoying. I'm not annoying. I helped you through the thickest and thins, darling. I'm not annoying." You go, "Why don't you just piss off then? Piss off. You want me to piss off? Well, how your boyfriend Danny literally slept with Margaret." And then they'll say like the thing they shouldn't have said, because that was a really long, convoluted way of bad accents to get to the point of when you're angry and you don't like someone in that moment, like, fuck it. You'll say the things you don't care about anymore. It's like, oh, well, actually, you know, like, you slapped me. Oh, okay. Like, before, it's like, I would just reserve judgment. It's like, oh, you've got this thing going on, but, you know, I respect you enough in the space. I'm not going to come out and just, like, you know, make fun of you. But then you slapped me on the stage at the Oscars. So, yeah, now I'm going to make fun of all the obvious stuff on the table there is to make fun of you about. Before, I was making bold jokes. It was a G.I. Jane joke, you know? And now, it's, you know, it's a little bit longer for you, Will. But also, well, you got to accept repercussions for your actions. Watched Emancipation just to see him get beat. That was a joke. That was a joke in there. But a lot of it was just sort of, yeah. I'm Team Chris. I'm Team Chris, man. Are you Team Selena or are you Team Bailey? What's her name? Bieber. Team Hailey Bieber. Huh? I don't. You know when like apparently that's been like a big thing, and I didn't. That's been huge. I know that's going to register to people and be like, yeah, that's been. I didn't know this was like huge underbelly, because Twitter can be the type of place where like if you've used it for long enough, your like section of what is shown to you gets so specific that like I could be like, oh, this fan, like, this is so annoying, or like, this happens all the time. I will, like, something big will happen, I'll be like, oh, everyone's really annoyed about it. Do you see what everyone was saying? And I'll talk to someone else and I'll be like, no, everyone was saying, was like laughing and making fun of the person. It's because you're being shown a side of Twitter that's all really Karen-y, like really like woke or something, and they're being shown a side of Twitter that's all really like, you know, just cancelable people. I don't know, like, you get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, apparently that's been a huge thing going on. I don't even know what's going on about. Just basically two people arguing. That's the news. That's what you need to know. People are arguing about nothing. What was the other thing? It was Will Smith getting his ego slapped, and then, I mean, his ego got demolished a long time ago, but he still clearly got, oh god, I don't want to think about it. It was just bad. It was just bad when that happened. What was the other? Oh, yeah, Hollywood's mental. Because I was watching like an old podcast. It was like a Bad Friends podcast with Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino, and they were talking about Woody Allen, the insane man, and it's just like Hollywood is just crazy, and people always talk about like Babylon. It's like it shows Hollywood and stuff, and like this is what's what goes on certain times. It's crazy in the parties, and it's just like the craziest thing will happen. It'll be like a snake charmer eating sushi out of a sumo wrestler's belly button, who's eating sushi out of a Mexican guy's butthole. I wanted to say butthole the first time, but then I censored myself and said belly button. But then I thought, nah, I just got to make it crazier. Anyway, just crazy things will happen. But or like people just try and do dodgy things and try and get away with it, or like, yeah. And I don't know, like, you shouldn't be surprised by certain things when they come out. Like, if it comes out, oh, politicians were lying and they actually stole a bunch of money and they've been hoarding it to themselves. It's like, what, really? But at the same time, it's like, oh, we shouldn't be surprised. But at the same time, I'm always surprised. Because I'm just like, why do people even do this stuff and think they won't get caught? It's like in a soap when someone cheats on someone. And they're like, you can't tell anyone. He can't know. And you're sitting there watching it like, well, they're gonna know. This is a soap. These things don't happen without people knowing. This, like, if it happens, they're gonna know it's a soap. So it's like, I don't know how people do things, think they won't get away with it, and secondly, just that they happen. Like, it's just like such. I don't know. I'm just naive, I guess. I'm a naive little boy. But that girl from Stranger Things, the one Chrissy, who gets all her bones snapped in the first episode. Apparently, I read the first half of this tweet and I was just thinking, it was like, have you? But then I read the rest and I was like, oh, it was like, I can't remember her name, so I'm just going to call her Chrissy. It's like Chrissy apparently has turned down a bunch of acting opportunities recently since Stranger Things, so she can focus on Twitch streaming. And I just thought, okay, or are you just not getting roles, mate? Like, oh, great excuse. Yeah, focus on your Twitch streaming. Like, I love, like, yeah, Twitch streaming. That's not the type of thing you need. I guess if you want to be like a full-time 90 hours a week or whatever, but you can just do that of an evening. Like, I find it funny when like footballers post TikToks of them dancing with their girlfriends, and whether their girlfriends have been like, yo, do this TikTok with me and made them do it, or they've just been like, it'd be fun if we do one together. Whichever way it went, they're dancing on a TikTok for 15 seconds and then people post it, right? And then get pissed and like, what is he fucking dancing for on TikTok? We're fucking losing points and he thinks it's acceptable to fucking dance. You shouldn't have time to dance. You should be fucking training because we're fucking losing. And it's like, and you make this much fucking money to fucking dance and fucking train. And it's like, if you want to laugh at the dancing because you think it's cringy, that's your opinion. That's fine. If you don't think they should post like they're messing around on the internet when they're also losing because it's just kind of bad time and read the room, that's also your opinion. That's fine. If your reasoning for not liking it is because they shouldn't be wasting time doing this when they should be training or like focusing on football, you're just delusional. You know how like players just get like, they train for like 2-3 hours a day. Maybe they'll do a bit of gym work. Footballers, I know it's like hard work and it does take a lot of hard work to get to the top and to maintain and stuff. But like, that doesn't mean they actually don't have actually quite a lot of free time, because they do. Like, footballers have a lot of free time. And yeah, they'll be scheduled into certain little gym things and stuff outside. But they train, like, literally get up at like probably 8. Like, I feel like football is probably done by 1 o'clock, and then you got the whole day to do whatever you want with. And like, for example, when Dele Alli started streaming on Twitch playing Fortnite, it's like, yeah, he was clocking in decent hours because you got a lot of time just to sort of chill and sit within yourself. The reason it doesn't seem that way is because you don't see him do anything, because like, you can't really do anything. You've got to stay out of the media, right? You can't really go out clubbing and stuff, or else you get, that's another thing. Carl Walker getting his sausage out at a party because he got shit-faced and then he was like decent and spoke. It's just like, why this is why they don't go out, because they'll whip it out. They'll do something stupid. You'll get caught in the public eye. You shouldn't be doing that anyway. So I'll just sit around in the home all day, go Top Golf, play Fortnite, whatever. So it's like, you think they haven't got 15 seconds to dance on TikTok. It's like, focus on you should be focusing on your football. Yeah, I did, mate. We trained for 2 hours. That's how long it is. We did gym for an hour. what else do you want me to do? Let's get, that's it. Stay behind after training and shoot balls into an empty net. Yeah, like when people post that on like their Instagram, like, you know, work hard, the extra yards and all this other stuff, and it's just like them taking shots into an empty goal. Like, practice makes perfect. This whole like Ronaldo mentality, like, I've got to be the first one in, last one out. Like, yes, that mentality will get you far in life and stuff. And there's the whole story about how Andy Murray's brother, when they were younger, was always said he's better than Andy Murray, but Andy Murray was the harder worker, and Andy Murray's another one, you know, and his brother's not, right? But like, I saw Patrice Evra, ex-footballer, now chicken slapper, and I guess pundit, if you want to call him that. Was like, if Messi had the work rate of Ronaldo, he'd have 15 Ballon d'Ors. No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't, man. Messi is like, this whole Ronaldo's hard work and Messi's talent is blown out of proportion so much. They're both hard work. It's just that Ronaldo's the Adonis body 6'2" guy who like shows it all the time, and everyone else just quietly gets on and does pretty much the same thing. Sure, Ronaldo doesn't drink Diet Coke when he gets home, and he trains for an extra 25 minutes than everyone else. And yeah, these things do make a difference, but like at the same time, you can be shit and it won't make much of a difference. Or you can be great. Like Hazard is better than so many people. He trains like shit. Chubby chunkster. This whole like having to post, like James Ward-Prowse, best free kick take in the Premier League. How many free kicks do you practice, James? Actually, not that much. I actually do like 2 or 3 because I want it to remain realistic to a match scenario. You don't get many attempts, so I try and keep that pressure. So I only take a couple. But then people like full showing them taking like 50 free kicks after training, like, bro, this mate's perfect, and I've scored like 1 in their whole career. You know, it's just like, it's all for show to look one way, and people love it. They eat it up. It's just social media. That's how it goes. But yeah, that's all I got for today. That was a decent 22 minutes for 77. Yeah, that's everything. God, and a lot of things about the Kyle Walker thing I just brushed over. Getting his Todger out. Hey. Hey, Kyle Walker. When Pep Guardiola said he wants to see you tackle, he doesn't mean get out that tackle. See you in 78.
With the kids, and have like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet. Like,